Hey, family members, fixed my hair. Why should I create a Proton Mail account? I mean, thank you for offering this advice, but why do I have to? I don't want to. Okay, so here's the reason. Most of us have email accounts that we've had for a really long time, and they are using internet service providers that are not exactly famous for privacy. They may be famous for security, but not for your own personal privacy, and the two things are different. Gmail is the Gmail and a company like Facebook are probably the two worst companies when it comes to privacy. They make no bones about the fact that their business model is to sell your information to the highest bidder. So, so email is generally an insecure protocol. It is an insecure protocol, meaning it gets sent to middlemen like mail service providers in plain text. So when it arrives at a middleman, it stays on their servers, and then it gets sent off to the recipient, and it's machine readable in plain text throughout that entire path. So that's not great. So, but email has become the thing that we use to log into websites and banks. So my suggestion is to use another email address. Now it could be Proton, it could be 2Denota, it could be, you could even use Apple iCloud if you wanted to, which is, but just don't use the single email address for every single thing that you do, okay? It creates an identity, an online identity that's very easy to decipher if you use joeschmo@yahoo.com for everything, okay? That might have been great 20 years ago, but it is not okay now. So in that case, then it's time to spin up a new email account. You go to proton.me, fill it out, man. Username, password, write it down. Don't pick a password that you've been using over and over again, like winter 2025, exclamation point. You know what I mean? Pick something a little more creative that's going to be harder to decipher. And we'll get into that later in the year. All I'm suggesting is create an email account. I don't care if it's Proton or if it's something else. And use that second account for your financial institutions, and only use it for your financial institutions. And don't give it out to people. Make it hard to figure out in terms of, don't make it widely available. Don't use it for, like for example, backcountry.com. Okay, you want to buy something at Backcountry or REI.com. Don't use it for that. Don't use your secure email address that accesses your bank and your financial institution. For those of you who have a nest egg, if you want to keep that nest egg, don't use your ISP or your account that you've had for 20 years. Move on from that. Now, the advantage of Proton, it's a Swiss-based company. Their whole raison d'etre is to be a private and secure end-to-end encrypted email service if you go from Proton to Proton. So imagine a world where a family has Proton mail accounts, and when we want to start exchanging information that's private and we don't want it to be readable by every person that could get their hands on it, you could go Proton to Proton, and it would be fully encrypted. Proton can't read it. The only people that can read it are the ones that are on either end of the transmission. So that's a big advantage. That's kind of down the road a piece. It's not the reason why I suggested Proton only. It's one of the reasons. So that's the reason to go off and do this. We'll see you next month.